We're going to look at finding a difference quotient for linear and quadratic functions. So first, the difference quotient itself has implications in calculus. So that's it's introduced here in college algebra in this area because it involves composition of functions, but its application is calculus, just so you know. So notice that we have two parts of our function up there, f of x plus h minus f of x all over h. And we've specified that h can't be 0, right? Which makes sense because it's in the denominator. And if the denominator is 0, we can't divide by 0, world explodes, whatever, right? So to do this, we're going to use our knowledge of composition to find f of x plus h. And then we'll plug that and our f of x into our formula. We're going to pay attention to that negative sign. Then we will simplify. And for our purposes, for the problems that we are going to be working on today, your h should cancel out. So first, I want you to notice that this is f of x. So we have the first part of the formula that we need. So we need to find f of x plus h. So let's do that first. F of x plus h. Remember, that means that I go into my f function and replace all of the x's with x plus h. So I have 2 times x plus h minus 5. So I'll distribute that 2 and get 2x plus 2h minus 5. Notice we don't have any common factors. We don't have any like terms or anything, right? So we can't go any further than that. Now I'm going to put this and the f of x into my function, into my difference quotient, into the formula. So I'm going to start with the 2x plus 2h minus 5. And this is minus our f of x, which is 2x minus 5. So the reason that we needed the parentheses is because we're subtracting this quantity, right? And then divided by h. So now we'll clean this up and we will distribute this negative to both of those terms. So we have 2x plus 2h minus 5 minus 2x plus 5 all over h. Excuse that sound. That is my dog getting a toy. So let's see what we can do here. I can cancel a positive 2x and a negative 2x. And then I can cancel a negative 5 and a positive 5. So I'm left with 2h over h. So my h's cancel and my answer is 2. So when we're doing the linear form, that works out pretty easily. Really, you've just got to concentrate on this part right here. Everything else is fine. But as we know, things get a little more interesting when we start dealing with quadratics. Fix that. So here, our function is 2x squared plus 2x. So when we find f of x plus h, let's look at that for a second. So f of x plus h is going to be 2 times x plus h squared plus 2 times x plus we have an h here. So this whole thing is going to be our f of x plus h. So I want to think for a second about this x plus h squared, okay? So Anytime we have a squared, anytime we have a quadratic here, we're always going to have to do this. So you can either FOIL it, right, and do x plus h times x plus h, or you can know that when we square a binomial, we always get a squared, 2ab, and b squared, right? If you have a plus b quantity squared, you get a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. So anytime you have this, this is what you're going to have for that set of parentheses. So we could go ahead and write f of x plus h as 2 times x squared plus 2xh plus h squared plus 2 times x plus h. We're still trying to find f of x plus h, and now we've got to take this 2 and distribute it, and this 2 and distribute it. So this will give me here 2x squared plus 4xh plus 2h squared plus 2x plus 2h. Notice there's no like term, so I can't combine anything. So now we're ready to put this into this. So I have 2x squared plus 4xh plus 2h squared plus 2x plus 2h. And then I have minus my f of x, right? And my f of x is this guy. So minus 2x squared plus 2x all over h. It's a long line. So instead of writing this again and distributing this through, I know that now this is a minus 2x squared and this is a minus 2x. So I'm just going to take that shortcut right there. So now I'm looking to see if I have any like terms I can combine. So I have a positive 2x squared and a negative 2x squared. And I have a positive 2x and a negative 2x. So I have, let's rewrite it out here, 4xh plus 2h squared plus 2h all over h. So notice that all of these terms have an h. I could actually rewrite that numerator as h times, right, if I factor that common factor out, 4x plus 2h plus 2 all over h, and then those guys would cancel. And this is our answer. The biggest issue here is the algebra calisthenics. This is not a difficult topic. We're just plugging stuff in, but it's easy to get bogged down in all of this here. So you really might find it helpful to remember that anytime we have this squared thing here, it's always going to go in as that. Let's look at another one like this. Okay, let's do this one. So 4x squared plus 5x. So here's my f of x. And I want to find my f of x plus h. So I say f of x plus h is 4 times, we know this is going to be x plus h squared, right? And we know that x plus h squared is x squared plus 2xh plus h squared. And again, this is the same thing as x plus h times x plus h, which you could easily FOIL, right? Or just multiply your binomials together. But if you're doing that all the time, you know that this is what it's going to be. So I can go ahead and put that x plus h squared in here just to save myself a little bit of writing. And then plus 5 times x plus h. Right, because this is x plus h squared, right? And then this is x plus h. So then I've got to distribute my 4 and my 5. So I have 4x squared plus 8xh plus 4h squared plus 5x plus 5h. So again, notice there's no common like terms, right? Nothing I can combine. So I went ahead and wrote it again and paused it so you don't have to watch me write. And then we have minus that f of x, which is 4x squared plus 5x. And this is all over h. And then here we can, just like we did before, we know that we would distribute this to both terms, right? So instead of writing it again, I'm just going to say, okay, that's a minus 4x squared, and that's a minus 5x, right? So then everything's good. Then I'm going to look at what I can cancel. I have a positive and a negative 4x squared. I have a positive and a negative 5x. So kind of notice the pattern here. Then notice all of these 3 guys that are left all share or all have a common factor of h. So I can put an h out front, and I'll have 8x plus 4h plus 5 all over h. And so those guys cancel, and this is my answer. Now, I'd like for us to do this one as well. I'm going to do it off screen and then come back. So if you want to pause and try it yourself and then come check yourself, that's not a bad idea. And so here's the finished product. Again, notice when this would be, when I plug in, when I'm finding f of x plus h, I would have 5 times x plus h quantity squared. So there's my 5, and this is x plus h squared, right? So once I put that in, I'm just distributing. There's nothing to combine. Now I'm putting it into the formula, right? And again here, notice originally these were minuses, right? But I was subtracting, and so those became positives. And then everything I'm left with has an h, and I can factor it out. All right. Try not to stress too much about these. Just really focus on remembering that's what needs to happen. The rest of it's easy. Devil's in the details. Okay.